He failed again and again. Everyone laughed at him. But one day, his failures became his biggest strength, and the world could no longer ignore his name. David was born in a small town where opportunities were rare. His family was poor, and life was a constant struggle. From a very young age, he noticed that while other children had toys and books, he had to settle for hand-me-downs. Despite the hardships, David's mother always told him, "Son, your mind is your greatest tool. Use it well, and no one can stop you." Those words planted a seed in his heart. But reality was harsh. At school, David was always the quiet kid who never had the right supplies, never wore new clothes, and often got mocked by wealthier classmates. He felt invisible, almost like he didn't belong. But deep down, a small spark inside him whispered, "Someday, I'll prove them wrong." At the age of 12, David decided to take a bold step. He saw his neighbors selling lemonade during summer break and thought he could do the same. With just a broken table and a few lemons, he set up his stand. For the first 2 hours, no one stopped by. His friends walked past, laughing, mocking his shabby stand. By evening, he sold only 2 glasses, barely earning a single dollar. He came home embarrassed, feeling crushed. That night, he told his mother, "Maybe I'm not made for success." His mother smiled gently and replied, "Failure is not the opposite of success, David. It is the path to it. Every great man you admire once failed more times than you can imagine." David didn't understand fully then, but those words would guide him for the rest of his life. Years passed, and David entered high school. He was fascinated by technology. Whenever he saw computers or gadgets in magazines, his eyes lit up. He dreamed of inventing something big, something that could change people's lives. But again, life wasn't easy. His school didn't have modern computers, and his family couldn't afford one. He often sneaked into the library just to read about new inventions, while his classmates enjoyed parties and video games. David spent hours sketching ideas in his old notebook, machines, apps, and business plans that only lived in his imagination. People called him a daydreamer, but he held on to that dream tightly, believing one day it would become real. When David first spoke about his dream of building a tech company, his classmates burst into laughter. "You? A poor kid? Stop dreaming," one shouted. Their mocking words cut deep, but David held on. At night, he whispered to himself, "They can laugh today, but one day they'll clap for me." After graduation, David applied for internships. Dozens of companies rejected him. Some didn't even reply. He felt worthless. One day, his rejection letter pile grew so high, he wanted to burn them. But instead, he pinned them to his wall. "These are not endings," he told himself. "These are reminders that I need to work harder." David got a small job at a repair shop, fixing old computers. It wasn't glamorous, but he treated every broken part as a lesson. He stayed late, teaching himself coding and design. Slowly, his skills improved. The same people who once laughed at him now brought their devices to him, asking for help. His first invention was a simple mobile app. Excited, he uploaded it online, hoping for thousands of downloads. Days passed. Nothing happened. Just a handful of users. It felt like another failure, but David smiled. "This is just version 1. I'll keep going." He remembered his mother's words, "Failure is the path. Relatives began to criticize. Stop wasting time on useless dreams. Get a real job. His uncles told his father, he will never succeed. Those words hurt. But David decided not to argue. He promised silently, one day, I'll make them eat their words. David worked late into the night, coding, reading, and testing. While others slept peacefully, he wrestled with bugs, errors, and endless challenges. His friends partied, but he sat in front of a dim screen, determined to build something meaningful. It was lonely, but he whispered, one day, A's nights will shine. After months of grinding, David's second app gained traction. Just 100 downloads in the first week. But to him, it was like winning a trophy. Each download meant someone believed in his idea. That tiny success reignited his fire. He celebrated with cheap noodles, smiling like a millionaire. But success was short-lived. A competitor released a better version, and his users left. David felt crushed. He thought of quitting. Yet a voice in his heart reminded him, the journey isn't about how many times you fall, but how many times you rise. He wiped his tears and began again. One day, a kind professor noticed his passion and offered guidance. Your ideas are raw, but your spirit is rare, the professor said. He taught David how to pitch, market, and improve. For the first time, David felt someone believed in him, beyond his family. David nervously pitched his idea to an investor. The man listened, then laughed. You think people will pay for this nonsense? Come back when you're serious. Embarrassed, David left. But deep inside, the rejection became fuel. He vowed, next time, they won't laugh. They'll beg to invest. Bills piled up. David sold his bike, his guitar, even his favorite watch to fund his project. Friends called him foolish. He walked miles to save bus money, spending every coin on development. Sacrifice became his daily routine, but he embraced it. Temporary pain, permanent gain. Finally, his third product launched, a productivity tool for students. Within a month, it had 5,000 downloads. His inbox flooded with thank you messages from around the world. For the first time, he tasted real success. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he whispered, "It's working." Competitors copied his app, flooding the market with replicas. His revenue crashed. Angry and heartbroken, David almost gave up. But he realized, they can copy my product, but not my vision. He returned to the drawing board, determined to build something impossible to copy. Debt crushed him. Collectors called daily. Landlord threatened eviction. David had just $20 left. Hungry and hopeless, he sat in darkness, thinking, maybe they were right, maybe I am a failure. But as tears fell, he remembered his mother's voice. Winners are simply those who refuse to quit. That night, David scribbled new ideas. He wanted to solve a real problem, not just build for money. He thought of his own struggles as a student and created a platform connecting learners with affordable mentors. His heart raced. This idea felt different. He built a rough version and shared it online. At first, only 10 people joined, then 100. Within weeks, thousands signed up. Word spread like wildfire. Students finally found affordable guidance. David knew he had struck gold. The same investor who once mocked him called back. "We want in." David smiled, remembering the humiliation. Calmly, he replied, "Sorry, I'm looking for partners, not bosses." For the first time, power was in his hands. The platform exploded. Within a year, millions of users joined. Schools partnered with him. Media outlets praised the young man who once fixed old computers. David's name became synonymous with resilience. His father, once worried, now proudly said, "That's my son." Despite success, David didn't forget his roots. He built free training centers for underprivileged kids. "No one should feel as hopeless as I once did," he said. The same streets that once mocked him now celebrated him. David was invited to international conferences. He shared his journey of failures, nights of hunger, and relentless belief. People cheered, students cried, journalists wrote headlines, "From poverty to global impact." Trophies, certificates, and awards flooded his office, but he kept them in a corner, untouched. "These don't define me," he told his team. "Our real award is every life we change." His humility made him even more respected. Not everyone was happy. A greedy partner tried to cheat him, stealing company funds. It hurt deeply, but David remembered, obstacles are part of the journey. Instead of breaking, he tightened controls and made his system stronger. After removing toxic people, growth skyrocketed again. His platform expanded to dozens of countries. Students from villages to big cities now had access to quality mentors. David's vision was truly changing the world. His relatives, once critical, now bragged about him. "We always knew he was special," they said. David just smiled, remembering their harsh words years ago. Forgiveness, not revenge, became his victory. David's company valuation crossed $1 billion. He was officially a self-made billionaire. Cameras flashed, but he remained calm. "Money is a tool," he said. "My real wealth is impact." His speeches went viral online. Millions watched his story of poverty, rejection, and perseverance. Young people wrote to him, "Because of you, I didn't give up." For David, that was the ultimate reward. David started a foundation dedicated to education and innovation. "Even after I'm gone, my work must continue," he declared. His vision shifted from personal success to global legacy. One night, he revisited the old repair shop where it all began. The dusty tables, broken computers, and dim lights reminded him of his roots. He smiled and whispered, "Thank you. Every failure was a gift." At a grand event, his childhood classmates, the ones who once mocked him, were in the audience. This time, they clapped, cheered, and even cried. David realized the circle was complete. David began writing books and teaching online, sharing the lessons of perseverance. His words reached millions of readers worldwide, proving that knowledge, once earned, never dies. In his final global speech, David said, "Success isn't magic. It's sweat, tears, and never giving up. If I can rise from nothing, so can you. Just hold on, your time will come." The crowd erupted in thunderous applause. Years later, David's story became a legend. His name lived on in schools, books, and speeches. He wasn't remembered as just a billionaire, but as the boy who refused to quit. His legacy whispered to every struggling soul, "Don't stop. Your breakthrough is just one step away."